Hello everybody, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today's video, we're doing something crazy, super different. I never do this on my channel, but I thought it would be fun to do a full face of frozen makeup. I've seen Laura Lee do this video, and then I've also, James Charles just recently posted his as well. So I thought, I think I need to. I think it could be so much fun. Just depending on the products that I picked. Yes, if you guys like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. Obviously it's the day before I put on all the makeup so that it can sit and marinate and freeze in the freezer. And so I think it's about 6 o'clock right now or so, and obviously I'll keep it in there until tomorrow morning, and then we won't get it poppin'. So if you guys like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and without further ado, let's just get started. Okay, so I think I have everything. I tried to pick products that were like not my number one in case they get ruined, but also products that I know how they normally work, so that I can see if there is much of a difference. Go put her in the freezer. I'm so excited and scared. I'm showing you guys everything in my freezer. It's kind of sad, huh? But I'm just gonna spread it out a little bit. I know I don't have the best freezer. It doesn't freeze everything really, really well. But I figure if it's a little bit more like spread out, maybe it'll freeze a little bit better. So I'll lay it down. So we'll see. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm scared. All right, I got my coffee for today. I'm super excited. We're just gonna jump right in because I don't want the products to anything in any way. I don't know what they would do, melt probably. Anyway, so obviously first things first is primer. I did grab primer, foundation, and concealer, and then we'll go back for creams, and then like kind of go back and forth just so they don't melt as they sit here, basically. So first is primer. So this is the e.l.f. Puff Puff Primer. This is a very, oh my gosh, it's literally, it's not coming out. Okay, wait. I feel like it's gonna break before, like bust before it comes out. It's literally a solid in there. Maybe I should have waited like a little bit of time, because now I'm not gonna have anything to use. Okay, so the foundation doesn't feel as solid, so I did put the NYX Born to Glow Naturally Radiant Foundation in there, as well as I wanted to see what it did to the Milk Makeup Stick Foundation. I wanted to see what it did to a stick foundation. I feel like it would just make it cold. So we're gonna use a little bit of this. Yeah, it's just cold. It's not doing much of anything, it's just literally cold. And then the NYX Born to Glow, which is also just cold. I wonder why that is though. I really like the science behind that. Is so fascinating. Why the foundation didn't freeze all the way through, but the primer did. Curious, they were in this freezer for the same amount of time, you know? So it has nothing to do with how long, but I wonder if it has to do with like obviously formula, if maybe the shades, like whatever they use to make color shades, that doesn't freeze. I have no idea. Curiosity killed the cat. I wonder, I think it would be funny to see how long it takes this to defrost. See, I was kind of, again, I wanted to put products in there that I didn't care about too much, but I knew how they still wore. So this one is very like basic primer. It just kind of primes the skin really. It doesn't do much of anything else. Like it doesn't hydrate or anything like that. It kind of just preps the makeup. And so it's not a bad primer, it's just not my go-to primer. And so I felt like it was a good one just to pop in there to see what happened in case this happened. It froze. So I wonder what it'll be like to use it again. I don't know. All the videos I've seen are famous people, or like people with a lot of money who do this video. So I wonder if they just throw the products out, you know, afterwards, because like they could afford to buy new ones, you know? I don't know, but the primer and, the both foundations worked really, really well, and I see nothing wrong. If anything, I see something a little better, because I usually don't love the NYX Born to Glow, but she looks good today. All right, next we're going with concealer. This is the Milk Makeup Flex Concealer. Ooh, this one's This one's pretty. It's coming out like a huge chunk. It's not like frozen solid, but it's definitely like, it probably, if I left it in there, oh my gosh, this feels so good. Probably if I left it in there for the rest of the day, it probably would have froze. Oh my gosh, but this feels so good. I actually am enjoying this part. It's like cooling me down, my whole face. But that's so cool. It's like literally like a chunk. It's crazy. Okay. I'm getting excited, and it's probably normal things that I just haven't seen before. But it's a little bit more like, it's a little bit thicker, yeah, than it normally is. Obviously, because it was starting to like freeze, I guess. Do you guys see my friend here who brings me agony? Just hurts so bad. Okay, wow though, because I'm kind of surprised that this combination looks really good, except for this patch right here. Like, my skin doesn't ever look this good with these products. I'm not kidding. I'm convinced. I mean, I'm sold. This is awesome. Not that I'm gonna freeze my makeup every time I wanna do my makeup with these products, but I'm just saying there is a way to make some products look better. I'm sorry for my little like sideburn flyaways. They're from my bangs, and since I pinned my bangs back, these guys have nowhere to go. So I'm trying to tame them, but they won't. All right, so I'm gonna go grab cream bronzer, cream blush, cream highlighter. I'm gonna try to keep the setting powder in there as long as possible, because I'm assuming it's not gonna freeze, maybe just get a little bit colder. So we'll keep that in there, but then we'll be back, yeah. All of my stuff kind of smells like the freezer, and it's really funny actually. All right, so our primer is still, okay, now I got a little bit out of there. Wow, it literally just turns back into the regular primer that it is. It just was frozen solid. So wow, I should have waited like 2 minutes, but I really didn't. Like, the fun of this video is that your makeup is frozen, so it's confusing. Anyway, bronzer. So this is the Tarte Breezy Cream Bronzer in the shade Seychelles. Ooh, it looks normal. Okay, no, it looks just like more solid, which is actually not that bad of a thing, I feel like, for this bronzer particularly, which is why I chose it, because this is a very creamy bronzer. Like, it literally is creamy, and I really do like it that way. But it's, you know, like stick bronzers and stuff are usually a lot less creamy just because they're in different form. And so I felt like, you know, this would be the coolest to see how it is frozen, because it's a lot less creamy. Oh yes, honey. This is my favorite cream bronzer. I'm convinced. I'm convinced. Look at her. Look at her go. She's frozen and she's going places. It is actually that you can feel the coldness on the face, and it almost feels like wrong. You're like, ugh, what's going on? But it's performing really, really nicely. It's actually blending a lot better than it usually does. And not because it was a bad product before, but just because it was super, super creamy. So you have to be careful how much you apply. This, you can kind of go ham and just kind of blend it out, and she's going places. Yes, honey. This one might be one I do keep freezing. I'm kidding. I will never freeze anything again. But it was fun to try. Interesting. Very interesting. All right, so then we have, oh my gosh, I forgot. I wanted to try the Laneige Lip Glowy Balm as well, because it's like a balm. And so I want to see. Oh, is it frozen in there? Ugh, something's coming out. Oh, that feels so good. Oh, I like that one. That feels good. I like that. Obviously, it's way harder to squeeze out, but it feels really nice. And it's like, I like this better because it feels more balmy. The Lip Glowy Balm, this product is a little bit like super thin kind of product, but it feels really good right now. Like, very balmy. I like it. It's better than I did before, actually. All right, cream blush. We have the Maybelline Chic Heat. We have the Maybelline Chic Heat Sheer Cream Gel Blush in the shade 15 Nude Burn. I think we're just gonna take it on the back of my hand if any comes out. Oh, it did come out. Oh, it looks normal. It's just a colder version of normal. Hi, I'm normal. What is that from? Is that from SpongeBob? Yeah, definitely is. Hi, I'm normal. All right.
Hi, Hi, how are you?
I never thought I'd hear myself say this, but please come in, SpongeBob.
Thank you. Tell me, what are you doing cooped up in here when the weather outside is so normal?
Well, today is dusty.
Alright, so we're just gonna dab it on and dab it on the face. Ooh. Anyway, I think it looks super pretty. It feels really nice on the face as well. I think this one's kind of just like normal, did normal things, just the cold version of itself, but it looks kind of really good. So I'm impressed. So then we have cream highlighter, which I'm nervous about. These are the iconic London Illuminator drops, which I don't use that often, but I felt like it would be fun to put them in the freezer because they're drops. So is it even gonna open? Okay, it opened. Are you completely normal? Excuse me? Hi, I'm normal. Yeah, they're normal. I was certain. I'm just gonna take my sponge, like dip it off on the back of my hand and then kind of use that. But I was convinced that these would be the most frozen because they were actually a liquid. It's the only thing that in here is that is a full like liquid. Like obviously the foundation and stuff, but they're just a little bit different. They're a little bit thicker than like a water, like let's say water. This is literally like water liquid. So why are you not frozen? Maybe it has something to do with the glass bottle because it's a really thick glass bottle. And so maybe, I don't know. But it looks gorgeous.
Gorgeous, Lena.
Okay, so far I'm really impressed. We're gonna go get some more products. Sorry, I was saying we're gonna go get more products. All right, so next is setting powder. So we have the Ciate Extraordinary Translucent Powder, which again, I'm sure it's just gonna be a cold version of itself. I'm excited though. Ooh. I did just tap out my under eyes, so hopefully there's no creases. Ugh, it feels like, oh my gosh, it feels like wet. Ew, that was weird. I just got it everywhere. But it didn't feel like a cold version of powder. It just felt like wet water. Although I am noticing it's leaving more of a white cast than normal. So maybe not, but I can, like under here it looks a little bit more shadowy than it usually does, but weird. That only happened when I set it with powder. So I'm confused, I don't know. Then we're gonna go in with the MAC Studio Fix Powder Plus Foundation. I chose this one because again, I was like, if it gets like hard pan or anything, I don't want it on a foundation that I love, on a product that I love. So we're gonna go with this one. Gonna set the face with that. Wow, I feel like for a lot of the products, a lot of the cream products, obviously, so far, the freezer's working in their favor. Like it's kind of making them feel really nice and like work a little bit better. I feel like the powders, like at least the two setting powders, it kind of just made them a little bit worse to use, a little bit more powdery, if you will. I also put the Milani Make It Last Fruit Fetish Mango Coconut Scented Setting Spray in the freezer, and she's frozen because she is actually a liquid. So I'm actually gonna let it, let me see. No, it won't even go. I'm gonna let it hang till the rest of my makeup, so maybe we can get some kind of use out of it and see what happens when it's a little bit melted. Just whatever, because she's solid. She's solid. There's nothing in there. All right, for bronzer, I had the Tarte Park Princess bronzer. I know and love this bronzer well enough to know that it's probably gonna act the same. I feel like it's a little bit stiffer. Like it's not necessarily like frozen or hard, but I feel like the product is stiffer to blend and use. And so like I said, like it kind of goes back to say what I was saying before. I feel like it works in the cream's favors when it's frozen or cold, or when it's been cold for a while, but it doesn't work in the powder's favor. Like the powders don't work as nice as they do when they're like in normal temperature, you know? Interesting. All right, next is blush. We're gonna go with the AOA Studio Perfect Blush in the shade Auburn. I love this blush, but I don't use it a lot, so I had to force myself. It looks completely normal. Hi, I'm normal. All right, I'm done. Oh, she's pigmented. Oh my god. How am I gonna blend this out? Yeah, this is crazy. These are normally, okay, I usually use a different kind of brush, like a stippling brush. usually works a little bit better with all blushes, but I didn't have a clean one, so we're gonna use a dirty one. But anyway, it's harder to blend out these powders. They're just like, no, I'm not blending. I'm not moving. Wow, it's interesting. Then we're going with the Ofra X Nikkietutorials highlighter in the shade Glow Goals. I'm gonna assume the same. Although highlighter is a little bit creamier than some of the other powders. Yeah, it's working normal. Yes. It worked pretty normal. Again, a little bit stiffer, but still beautiful. So we're gonna accept that one. I'm gonna take that one as a W. All right, next I'm really excited for brows because I put the Tarte Big Ego Frame Worker Brow Pomade in the shade Black Brown in the freezer. I just wanted to see if this would freeze. I don't think it did, but we're gonna find out. Oh my gosh, I'm like, I don't know, I'm nervous. Wow, oh my gosh, it's solid in there, y'all. Like that's not creamy. I mean, the like top layer is kind of like, I could use that product, but it's hard in there. That is hard. Wow, okay. Still super pigmented though. I'm rubbing that all off on the back of my hand because I want these brows so crazy. Okay, sorry for the alarm, obviously can't control that. Right, so that ended up working, I think, a little bit nicer than usually. Because this formula is so creamy, you have to be really, really careful. Although it is still pigmented, like, because it's a little bit stiffer, it doesn't go on the brows as pigmented as it usually does. So it's like a lot easier to use, and I really, not that I didn't enjoy using this, because I really did love using this. It's a really great brow pomade, honestly. Like, if I had to keep one, it would be this one for the rest of my life because it's that good. But I feel like it's a little bit better because it's a little bit stiffer now. So it kind of just applies the product right where you want it to go. And so I'm obsessed. Wow, that's dope. Look at my brows, they look so good. I need to get them done so bad, I know, I'm so sorry. All right, and then last before I go get my eyes and lip products, we're gonna go in with the Milk Makeup Cush Fiber Brow Gel. I have the shade Grind. Oh my gosh. I think it's like all frozen in there. It is dry. I guess, yeah, some product is coming off. They look like a little bit, but it's not like a lot, which again works in this product's favor. This product is so freaking pigmented that it's like, you like wipe it on, you're like, you have to be like, so that you don't get too much on your face, on your brows. And so again, this is working in its favor because it's so cold that it's like not picking up all the product in there because it's all frozen in there. So wow, this also worked in this product's favor. You go, Glen Coco. I'm about it. Setting spray. Still solid in there. I'm sorry, girl. I felt like the more I was, like, once I started the video that I'd calm down about certain products, but I'm still like really nervous about certain products. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's ruined. Whatever. All right, so again, I put in some eyeshadow palettes that were like whatever, but I knew how they worked. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the Essence Hola Rio eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna use these two white shades, basically just mix them to set the eyes. Whoa. Can't use that mirror. Well, I think I'm gonna have to go with the same thing, being that the powders just become a little bit harder and stiffer, so they're not as easy to blend or to apply, because this one's not applying too well. But I know these whites, and these whites are white. All right. Then we're gonna go into the e.l.f. Pumpkin Pie eyeshadow palette. We're gonna just take this cream matte shade here and blend that into the crease. I gotta like keep going back in. I'm like, okay, where is it? Apply. There we go. So then we're gonna go back into the Essence palette. We're just gonna take this shade right here. Do they have names? No. Just gonna take that same shade and put it on the lower lash line. Okay, I think we're gonna try and use this red shade here. I wanted to use the gold, but I use that one every time I use this palette. So we're gonna go with that one. Oh yeah, she's pretty. I probably should have tried this with a brush just because my fingers are warm. So it probably just, you know, made the shade a little bit more normal. Cause this is literally, like I was telling you, this palette is a good palette. I've tried it before and it's really nice. And you can see that through the shimmer, it's so beautiful. But the mattes were not performing up to par. But again, probably just because they were obviously frozen. Then we're gonna go in with this, a mixture of these two shades in the inner corner, because I can't decide. As surprising as this is to say, the truth is my skin looks kind of powdery, and that's very odd to me because you'd think that it'd look a little bit more, I don't know. Crap, I forgot to use my liquid eyeshadow. This is the Ciate Eyeless Cream Eyeshadow, which I don't even think it'll open, so it's okay. Yeah, I knew it was a good idea to put one that I didn't love in there because there's no use in that. I'm kidding. Okay, so I'm glad I didn't bank on using that one because it didn't work. So all right, let's just go on with mascara. I put on the Kosas, the Big Clean Mascara. I'm slowly regretting that decision, but out of all my mascaras, I was kind of like, if this one freezes, at least it's this one, you know. So it's coming out really, really dry, which may not be a bad thing. This mascara is not my number one. I do really like it. I did like it in like one, I wouldn't repurchase, but like if I got it in a kit or something, I would use it, you know what I mean? Like one of those kind of mascaras, because I do like it, but it's, again, not one I would repurchase like right away or anything. But, oh, so maybe I'll repurchase it and freeze it because this is pretty. It's super pretty. It's beautiful mascara. It is, and normally it is a very nice mascara. Like it makes your lashes long and voluptuous and thick and girly wispy lash. Everything perfect in a mascara. Just slightly under all the other products, all the other mascaras and stuff that I have, which is why it's not number one. Because like all my other mascaras do that just on a greater scale. This one's just a little bit underneath all of it. It is still pretty. You can see. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay. We want some setting spray. Alright, I'm trying it on my face. No! Okay, so at first the nozzle was broken, or the nozzle was so frozen that nothing came out. Then, when I just squeezed it into the air, whatever was in the tube came out. And now, it's still frozen. Nothing's coming out. Who are we kidding? Alright. Last but not least, we have the Rare Beauty lipstick in the shade Support. It's the Dewy Lip Balms. I felt like because these are so dewy, it might be cool to see how they are frozen. That feels delicious on my lips. Wow, it honestly is a little bit easier to use, not as messy. It did, like, once it hit my lips, it kind of warmed up, I guess, to my lips and made it a little bit more creamy. But it's a little bit easier to apply because it's not as dewy and a mess as it usually is. Okay, I really like that. Okay. Wow. Thanks, Freezer. All right, and then last we have this Milk Makeup Kush Lip Glaze in the shade Rosebud. I don't know if I'm going to apply it because it might mess up. Like, this looks really cute today. And I don't even know if anything will come out. So, there's that. Yeah, no. I don't even think this is frozen though, because you can obviously still mush around this thing. It just might be so thick that it's not coming out. And this is already a thick gloss in general, so yeah, nothing's coming out of that one. All right, so that is it for this video, guys. Like I said, the powders, no go. Don't put them in the freezer in any way, shape, or form. I mean, unless you want to just try it out for yourself and see the video. Obviously, I mean, for the video, like, go for it. But I just mean, like, it doesn't add any value to your collection. If there's some products though that you want to throw in the freezer, like creams, I think they're fun to try. And you can see, like, even like if you have the Tarte Breezy Cream Bronzer, you're like, how I use this, it's too creamy. Throw it in the freezer, girl. It becomes a thicker version of itself, you know, but a lot less creamy. And not that creamy's bad, but like sometimes creamy is too much. And so that was the same thing for the Big Ego brow pomade as well as the brow gel. They're a little bit, these are products that are creamy, super creamy, and so they're a little bit easy to use now that they're a little bit harder. And so if you wanted to try and throw a couple of those in the freezer, I would try it and see what you guys think. And same with the mascara. I have to test that theory that if I have a super liquidy mascara, it'll become a little bit thicker, like a drier mascara in the freezer. This is my most liquidy one, the NARS Climax, but I really like this mascara, so I don't want to ruin it, so I'm scared. But if you want to test that theory, I would go for it and see. Some other products I say don't put in the freezer at all. Like obviously the powders, because they just don't work right, but they work like this, that they don't work right, but they still work. You know what I mean? Ones that I would not expect anything good out of is a primer and setting spray. I just and maybe even like a lip gloss, like a full gloss. I wouldn't expect anything good to come from those at all, because they're frozen solid. Like you cannot use that unless you're planning to thaw it out. But then at that point, what's the point of putting it in the freezer, right? Again, same with the lipstick too. As earlier, is something that was super creamy but feels a lot better now that it's a little bit more solid. I'm really obsessed with this lipstick. It looks so pretty. I have a mini fridge for like my skincare, and so maybe that might be worth something to put like some of these products in there. Like maybe the night before if I want to use them or whatever, just to see how they do in the fridge, because maybe it'll make them a little bit thicker, like solid. So I think that's everything. Foundations didn't really change much. They were just cold versions of themselves. Stick foundation is actually nice though. It feels good when you put it on the face because it's so cold. And then the NYX Born to Glow, I think like, besides the fact that I'm in dire need of some setting spray, this foundation looks really nice, and I don't typically love it, so it might just be the combination of the two foundations, or maybe the lack of primer, because I didn't really have a primer because I couldn't use it. Concealer feels so good under the eyes, guys. If you were to put like anything in the freezer for that reason, because you want it to be cold the next day, concealer, it feels so good under the eyes. They're like, oh my gosh, do I need coffee today? No. I'm gonna drink coffee today, but I'm drinking coffee today, but you know what I mean. Like it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm awake, I can run a mile now. Yes. Yes, I think that's everything now. All right, so the quote for today is, age is no barrier when it comes to travel. And that kind of inspired me to kind of flip the script on that one a little bit and say age is no barrier at all. Like age should not stop you from doing anything. You know, right now I'm 21, and I'm kind of in this stage where it's kind of like, you know, I'm figuring stuff out, and I'm kind of just like torn between let me be 21, everyone, and all right, let's be responsible. You're an adult, you live, and you have your own apartment, and you have your own car, like all this stuff. I'm like torn between the two. But you know, like your age shouldn't stop you from doing anything, and I think that, you know, if I don't want to work at TJ Maxx, I shouldn't have to. If I want to work at TJ Maxx, then I should be allowed to, you know? So don't let your age stop you. Don't let your age be a hindrance. And really just, you know, embrace the age you're at, because you're only going to be there for a year. All right, so that's it for this video, guys. I know it was a long one, but I really hope you enjoyed it. I thought it was so much fun. And I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.